Okay, sorry about that. I'm trying to keep these videos under 10 minutes, and I looked down and I realized I was over 10 minutes. Okay, so the dilemma we're facing right now is we don't have that U or V look or U or N look that we're looking for. So what went wrong? Well, the problem in this case, I think we'd find out if we graphed 3 as our x value, is if we plug in 3 here, we would get 3 squared, let's see, 2 plus 4 plus 1. We would end up with -9 plus 12, so that's 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, so we'd end up with 4 here, and that would leave us with a point of 3 comma 4, which is right here. Okay, what you would find if you kept plugging in values for x like 4 and 5 and 6 is that it does actually look like an n. It's just we weren't graphing the right part of it. Okay, so the dilemma is, how do you choose values of x so that we get the picture that we're looking for? And the picture that we're looking for includes the vertex here, which is the highest point, or in the case of an n, or would be the lowest point in case of a u. Okay, so we want to know where that vertex is, whether it's a maximum vertex or a minimum vertex here. So luckily, let's get rid of that. So luckily, some super math genius determined, after graphing a lot of these and figuring out how he was going to decide what points to choose for x, he figured out that, hey, I can use this little handy-dandy formula to find out where the vertex is going to be, the x value of the vertex. All right, so let's try that out and see what that means. So if we go back to our last problem, again, it was, let's see, -x squared plus 4x plus 1. Remember, just like when we learned previously, that form for quadratic is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And so we get this b and a from that form that we learned months ago. All right, so let's plug it into the new equation we have. So x equals, b in this case is going to be 4, so negative b is -4. Right, and I'll put the little blue parentheses to show that's where that 4 is. And then the a in this case is -1, so we have a 2 and a -1. Let's make that blue, okay. So we have -b over 2a, and we're just going to simplify that. So we have -4 over -2, which is 2. So now we know the x value of the vertex is 2, and if we go back, we can see that that is in fact true. At x equals 2, that's where our highest point was. Okay, so now we've found this out, so how do we know what the y value is? Well, that's simple. We already figured it out by plugging it back in over here. Right? We know that the y value at x equals 2 is 5. All right. So if we wanted to do that again, we could make our little xy chart. Let me move this up a little bit to show what our equation was. So we know from before that an x of 2 gives us a y of 5. Now the easiest thing to do is you want to choose the closest points next to 2. I like to use whole numbers because it's going to be easier to plug whole numbers into our original equation. I mean, I could choose to put in 1.5 if I wanted for x, but who wants to square 1.5 and then add that to 4 times 1.5, right? So that would be a mistake. Although, if you wanted to do it, you could. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Weird. So if you wanted to do that, you could, but that would be a mistake because it would just be much easier to plug in a number like 1, okay, or 0. Okay, notice 1 and 0 are the next 2 points to the left of 2. So I'm going to plug in 1 and 0. So 1, when I plug it in, I get, let's see, did I do that last time? Yeah, I did. I got a 4, and 0 gets us a 1. So 1 comma 4, 0 comma 1. Okay, so those are 2 points. Well, here's another cool thing about graphing these quadratic functions. Let's go back up here. Let me get a new graph out. Boop. Okay, so once I know where the vertex is, 2 comma 5. The vertex also creates this invisible mirror called a line of symmetry or axis of symmetry. Okay, and for a quadratic, it's always a vertical line. Okay, now when I plot point 1 comma 4, like I did before, this mirror makes it so that there's also a point at 3 comma 4. When I plot 0 comma 1, the mirror tells me, hey, there's also a point at 4 comma 1. And so now I can make my graph. And there it is.